Things that I hate to see in makeup, part one. So, first off, eyebrows. I hate to see when people use a concealer shade that's like 5 times lighter than their skin tone to carve out the eyebrows. Like, that is not natural looking whatsoever. I think the best technique is to use something that's close to your skin tone. So that way you can just carve out. It's just basically meant to be carving out the brows and creating like a sharp line versus a distinct, harsh contrast color. I hate it when people use a foundation that's not meant for their skin type. If you have combination oily skin, you should be gearing towards like a matte or a natural foundation. If you know you have dry skin, why are you using a matte foundation just to complain about your face being matte? It don't make sense. This is Maybelline's Matte and Poreless. I use this and I use this on all my clients. And I love it because I have combination oily skin. So that means my T-zone area and this, my nose, my forehead, my chin, it's all oily at the end of the day. So this matte foundation is going to hold everything in place. Let me tell y'all the thing that I absolutely hate, like more than anything. It really grinds my gears. Underpainting. I hate underpainting. I don't care what people say. You cannot convince me that underpainting makes sense. Like, I get it if you one of those, no makeup type girls. But me personally, I think it's so counterproductive. Like, first of all, you going on a base, on your base, meaning your natural skin, and you put in bronzer and blush on a natural base, and then you just going on top of it after you apply foundation and everything, and you're reapplying those same products. In a sense, isn't that just making your makeup cakey? Like, aren't you essentially doubling the work? You're working harder and not smarter. Or am I tripping? Because notice how people will underpaint and then after they apply foundation, they'll come back and be like, oh, I have to reapply my bronzer because it got kind of covered up with the foundation. Duh. It got covered up with the foundation because you put the bronzer on first and then you covered it up with a thick ass layer of foundation. And now you got to go back on top of that bronzer and add more bronzer to build the color back up because you lost the pigment of the color. Now, this one is a big one for me. I hate to see people reverse contour. Like, I don't think a lot of people actually has educated themselves on face shape and what type of makeup you should be doing according to your face shape. I see people with diamond face shapes, heart face shapes, meaning with a heart shaped face, I have more like a heart or a diamond where it's kind of narrow at the forehead, wider at the temples, and pointy at the chin area. It's no reason why somebody with that face shape should be reverse contouring, because you know what that does? Essentially, it makes your chin area look even more sharp. Yeah, so if I reverse contour, meaning draw a line underneath my natural cheekbones, it's going to make my jawline look even more sharp than what it already is. And it kind of gives you a, dare I say, strong masculine look. Now, if you have like a oval shaped face or a round shaped face, it may actually look good on you. Learn your face shape first so you know how to apply your makeup. So that way everything looks like it belongs, To make matters worse, you'll reverse contour while leaving the setting powder underneath the crease, underneath the cheekbone, and then apply blush and bronzer within that strip that you've left yourself to apply the bronzer and the blush. Like this part right here have the baking powder, just baking, and then it'll also be baking underneath, and then you'll give yourself just this land strip to apply blush and bronzer. And then when you wipe it all off, you just have this sharp line of blush and bronzer. Let's be very clear on this. Blush goes after bronzer. That way you're not applying a darker shade on top of blush, which is supposed to be like a lighter depending on what type of blush you're going for. So if you're going for like a pinky blush, why would you put that down first and then go on top of it with a deeper bronzing shade? You just pretty much like covering up what you've already done. And another thing that really bothers me is setting the entire face with setting powder after you've used a liquid foundation. Stand increasing longevity, but if you're just gonna set your entire face with powder products once you've used all liquid and cream products, you might as well should have just used a powder foundation. Like, I just feel like it defeats the purpose. Why not just use a powder foundation if you're gonna mattify and powder down the foundation in the first place? Like, this whole area right here does not have to be set with powder. You could have just used the powder foundation. Like, come on. Now this makes me cringe so bad. But people who spray their face with like a setting spray after they've applied eyeliner and mascara, like, oh my gosh, do you not realize your eyes are about to be bleeding? Like, you do not do that. You spray first to avoid your eyelashes and your whatever else, mascara, your eyeliner, from bleeding down on your face, because you're adding something wet to something that's already been like set in place, and it's weird. Now you can let that dry a little bit, then you can just go back in and reinforce those areas that kind of got a little too dewy, too out of hand, and you can press that powder back in. If you have oily eyelids, set your eyelids so that you don't get creasing. Now, ultimately, it's your face. You can do what you want, but I'm just here to say that I have been kind, I have been patient, and I'm tired of seeing it, but this is just how I feel. This is just my personal opinion on things I hate to see. Look, my word is not law, okay? I'm just a girl on the internet telling y'all what I dislike. But ultimately, do what you want. It's your face. But I just hope you take some of these things into consideration so that way your makeup look can actually be curated for you and you're not just doing what you see everybody else on the internet doing. That's all.